How you feeling? How you feeling, baby?
Hey, you boys.
Jesus Christ, right?
What?
Wow.
Wow. You
Right.
You look like a fucking turkey.
I gave your mom the gobbler yesterday for her birthday.
He's been heavy on these
You.
mom jokes, Bill.
And they haven't been good either.
No, it's just
Neither was your mom.
just a desperate act from a desperate man, just going for it.
Jesus.
I know you're not working out, so what did you? Did the heat go crazy in your house, or why are you wearing a tank top and a poshy with your turkey hair goblet hair hanging out?
Gobble, gobble.
No, I don't know. Just down in the podcast studio. It's warm down here. It was a nice warm day in New England, 60 degrees. Threw on a tank top, baby.
Nice. And to be clear, just to clarify, you did not do any exercise.
Does jerking off count?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Also confirmed that's also where you guys play, that's where you play video games with your son?
Where? In here?
Yeah.
I don't jerk off downstairs in the basement, you fool.
Oh.
Why wouldn't you? Do you have a lock? I was just
Yeah.
going to ask, do you have a lock on that door?
No,
Why not?
because it's to the basement. Why would I put
But
a
it's
lock
a
on?
man cave. It's called Jerk Off Central.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you hear everything. Why would you beat off in the shower? It's so
Black
much
lights
better
should
to
not
beat
be
off.
allowed in there.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It's
Black
so much
lights-
better to not beat off in the shower.
Oh, black lights. I thought I heard something else. I was like, whoa. We're just going in a total different direction here.
That's just where you come from.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Bill, how you doing?
Doing
I don't
good. How
like
about you?
I don't like when Bill drinks out of his large tin can because I never know what we're gonna get.
It's Diet Coke.
Water.
Same thing. Same thing in Bill's eyes. Water and Diet Coke are the same. One and the same.
And
During
Corona.
the week, all I drink is just like 4 or 5 of these a day.
Bullshit.
Swear to God. I swear to fucking God.
You don't drink alcohol during the week?
No, I try not to. No.
Hmm.
No, and like even the last couple Thursdays that I've had off, like on Fridays off, I haven't drank on the Thursday.
Well, we haven't had a show on a Thursday in a while because
Try,
scheduling conflicts.
do or do not. Try not, Bill. That's all I have to say about that.
Fair
Welcome to the show. This is the Simple Mind Sports Show, Wednesday edition, December 2nd. Is that right?
Yeah, it's gross.
Wow.
Yuckies.
And you know what? Kudos to me because my calendar over here hasn't even flipped to December yet, and I nailed the date just off the old noggin. So,
Professional.
golf clap for me. Welcome to the show. Can you see my mic falling down? It's like raised.
Yep.
It's like raised dick.
Come on. I knew
Ooh.
as soon as you said mic dropping, I knew exactly where you're going.
See,
with
that was
will
a good
not-
one.
It will, yeah,
that's
it
a
will
good joke.
not stay up.
That's
It
not a
just
good- it's a
keeps
20-year-old
falling
joke.
Down, just keeps going limp the whole time, and I don't want to hold it the whole time. It's the whole goddamn point of a mic stand, and now I got to crunch down like a turtle. God
Hey,
damn it!
Rich, I like your flannel.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, is that on purpose? You trying to be like Bill now?
Oh,
I
try to be
almost,
like Bill.
I did almost wear a flannel to this, but I threw this. It's a little warm in here, so I threw this like light sweatshirt on instead. I had to
Okay.
take the flannel off.
Was
But-
it 52 in your house right now, Bill?
No, I've had the heat on. I forgot to shut it off today,
Oh,
but
it's
no, I've
Thanksgiving
legit.
passed. I'm sorry,
It's
yeah.
December. I mean, I've had it on. It's been I shut it off for like, I don't know, like 2 weeks in November.
Hey, Bill.
I had put it on. It got cold in here.
We appreciate the update on your internal temperature in the podcast studio. I'm constantly
64.
worrying about the level of hardness of your nips, and now I know that they're comfortably
Very
soft
Yep.
and
This puppy.
cushy in whatever light sweatshirt you have on. You didn't go with the rough manly Ruffkin flannel flannel design. So
I'll have some flannel on for Thursday.
Okay, can't wait. Jot that one down, Pam Aaron. If that doesn't happen, I'm going to be I'll be fine, to be honest with you. Boys, I want to start off with a little Celtics. Now, normally on Wednesdays, we go and revert back and get the last little inklings of thoughts on the Patriots game on Sunday, but the Patriots are kind of dead to us at this point. We'll get to it later in the show. However, the news today is the Celtics. Today is the Celtics day. They started training camp. And breaking news, Kemba Walker will not be ready until at least the beginning of January.
I mean, is that really breaking? We all knew it was going to happen.
Yes, it's fucking breaking. Of course it's breaking,
Bill.
I just
Don't
never expected
question
him.
my
I
shit.
never expected him to start the season anyways.
Be in the media, Bill. Come on, it's breaking news.
Look, the idea that the headline involved injecting stem
RuPaul.
cells into his Yeah, you nailed that one. He does look like RuPaul. Looks like a fat RuPaul.
A white RuPaul.
Fat, white, bearded RuPaul. Right.
They
What do
probably
you
have the same limp penis together, so that works.
Maybe. Depends on who they're with. If they're with each other, definitely. Ray,
Yes.
what is your level of concern on the stem cell injection of Kemba Walker's knee not being ready till at least to start the season beginning or mid-January, and then obviously on some kind of pitch count there and minute restriction? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your concern level?
11. The guy's 30 years old, prime of his career. He's a max guy. He's only played one season in that 4-year max $181 million deal. This is very concerning. I mean, if you're not ready to go now and you're already getting stem cell injections in this early in your career, I mean, you're 30. You still probably got another 6 years to go. It's not good. It's not a good look. So going on, I'm going to be a little worried about what Kemba's going to be able to do. Obviously, Danny Ainge tried trading him in the offseason, but is he going to be here for the rest of his contract? I highly doubt it now.
Bill, 1 to 10, where are you at?
9. Pretty concerned. I mean, I think, getting Jeff Teague kind of will lower that. Maybe lower. Maybe I'll go like 7.5. Somewhere right around there, because I think Teague is the better backup option than Brad Wanamaker was. But it just losing Gordon Hayward, as much as you guys hate him, but
Not
man,
you guys. Don't you guys
sorry,
me on
Raymond.
this.
Sorry, Raymond. Like, it just makes losing Hayward even worse. Because like I said, when you asked me in my band show when I was suspended if I thought the Celtics were better or worse, I said they were worse. And I think you lost the best player out of basically all the deals, right? When he's healthy, he's the best player out of the Tristan Thompsons, the Cantors, the Wanamakers, the Teagues, all those guys that you got and lost. He's your best guy. So you lost the best player in the offseason. And now you're losing Kemba for probably 2 months. And I don't think he'll be ready by January. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting another stem cell treatment out in Germany, where all those guys go. Kobe did it too in his 30s. So I mean, Hayward wants to be the guy. I don't think you had any chance to keep him at that point, but man, he could have been the guy right now with Kemba out for a while.
Bill, how's Kobe doing with that treatment now in his knees?
Oh, he's dead.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus,
you
too
assholes.
soon. Too soon.
You fucking assholes. Actually, I think after that, he came back and had like an MVP season and won some championships, right?
Yeah, a lot of those guys. Gilbert Arenas tried it too, but he never came back. But a lot of those guys went over there. I think Garnett did too. After his 2009 year, I think he went over there and got that weird stem cell in Germany or some shit.
Yeah. So my rough, dumb, simple mind knowledge of this just through Twitter is that it is not the best of news. It usually comes after surgery, but we haven't heard anything about surgery on this. So it seems like
unless they're hiding it.
It seems like
This is
because
the last shot.
they had the 4 months between the shutdown and the bubble, and what we were told was he just rested, which seems right to me. Like
at this
it seems
point,
like
wouldn't you just try for surgery at this point?
no, I don't. That's my point. I think that they are avoiding surgery at all costs because they know what surgery looks like. They know that surgery looks like Kyrie Irving and a year and a half out, and they can't give up on this season like that. So maybe at the end of next season, or maybe middle of this season, if it doesn't shape up, sure. But I think that they're doing everything possible to get him as someone who can play this season. So
can I ask you a question real quick? If you had kept Gordon Hayward, do you think you pushed Kemba to get surgery?
No.
No.
This is my answer to this question. What is my concern to this? 6, 5, 6. Because Kemba Walker is not this team. Hey, Celtics fans, listen up. You have just moved into a new era of Celtics basketball, and it is a step back to make a couple steps forward. This is now Jason Tatum's team. That's it. That's it. We're done bringing in all-stars. We're done going out and signing big free agents to try and make a push. The Kyrie Irving, AD, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, Kemba Walker, Celtics, that's over. You are going as far as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will take you. That's the team. That's it. So Kemba Walker in that scenario is a nice third piece. And, yeah, without his quickness and decisiveness in what he can do offensively, if his knee's going to harbor him, then sure, he's not going to be that same player. But you don't need him to be that same player. He needs to adapt as a different player with Jason Tatum. He needs to become a spot-up shooter and a terrific point guard. And that's it. And if he doesn't – he was going to have to do that anyway.
He's a lot of that, though,
He's a
Rich.
6'3" guard in his 30s in the NBA. Anybody that moves into that role – You can't keep it that explosiveness. We can go through 1,000 examples of offensive players like Kemba Walker. You have to adapt your game. So he was gonna have to do that anyway. I'm not that concerned because I never thought he was going to be the key to the Celtics. It's Jason Tatum. If Jason Tatum makes the step that everyone thinks that he already did or he should, then Kemba Walker shouldn't fucking matter, to be honest. He should just be a sidecar.
It's just a lot of money, though. It's $141 million that you're giving.
Yeah, you're always stuck on this fucking money, Ray.
Just don't worry about it.
Well, what are you going to do with it?
It's not your money.
I know it's not my money, but you're locked into this guy for another 3 years. You're not going to be able to trade him now that he has a bad knee. No one's going to want him. You're either going to
if he comes back healthy,
get nothing.
Like he's not going to be – he'll be more towards Gordon Hayward, I think, when Gordon Hayward by his fourth year because, again, you saw –
So hurt all the time?
I don't think he's going to be hurt all the time, but he's going to –
Right. How many max spot – now, I'm not trying to compare LeBron and AD to Tatum and Brown, but how many max spots did the Lakers use? None. One with LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron. Well, AD was on a max one.
Before the Warriors
ago.
became the Warriors when they won their first championship, how many max spots did they use? None.
Yeah, but they
didn't
also
use
drafted
any.
They also drafted well.
Yeah,
Which is
and
what
the
the Celtics are
Celtics
doing.
fucking drafted Tatum and Brown. That's my whole goddamn point. This is my whole point. I'm not trying to project the Celtics as the Warriors, but I'm saying this is the spot you're in now. And Kemba Walker's not a part of that. He was never going to be a part of that. He was a fucking rebound because your Kyrie move backfired.
But he's the perfect rebound, Rich. Perfect rebound.
And they
because
got him,
his
they got
ego.
him lucky.
And it's his ego. Like the thing about Kyrie, he couldn't adapt to the fact that he saw the writing on the wall was Tatum and Brown moving forward, and he bailed to go play with Kevin Durant. Kemba knows going forward, like this is their team, and he's said publicly many times this past season that I'm perfectly fine. This is Tatum's team. I'm perfectly fine being where I am. So you're already seeing him adapting. So if you can get minutes restriction or any of that, but if he could be a post-up shooter and a good three-point shooter, this team's going to be just fine. So I said 7-5. I might even go lower at this point because again, as long as you can get by with Teague, if you can get 80% of what you got of Teague in Atlanta, and now he's going to be starting. Well, probably coming off he could probably start with Marcus Smart now too. So I mean,
let me get into that next question. So my next question is about Ray, you would mention it. Do you have a thought about Danny Ainge and trying to trade another point guard as damaged goods? Do you think that affects them moving forward with their GM trying to push that shit on people?
Well, you brought up Anthony Davis. His father said he didn't want to come to the Celtics because what Danny Ainge did to Isaiah Thomas, right? You got rid of him because he had a bum hip. So now he's trying to do it all over again. It's going to leave a bad taste in a lot of players' mouths because it's not a good look. It's not a good look trying to get rid of a guy because he's hurt, send him out to the fucking no man's land and never be the same player again. What, Bill?
Can I counter that real quick, though? And, I see that argument, but it's not like they dumped Isaiah Thomas for trash. He was one of the centerpieces to get a fucking all-star player. I get it. He had injury concerns, but he was still the centerpiece of an all-star player. with that
Yeah.
fucking lottery pick. It was a lottery pick in Isaiah Thomas, who just came off averaging 29.5 points a game.
Two arguments here, Bill. Logic, non-logic. So what you're saying, Bill, is correct, and I agree with you. The idea of trading, the idea that, first of all, in professional sports, the idea of disrespect and trading is just fucking stupid. But in that specific scenario, for people, Isaiah Thomas was shooting his mouth off about backing up the Brinks truck for a 5'9" fucking point guard who, yes, was great on the Celtics, but everybody knew was never going to win a championship with just that guy. Love him. Easiest guy to root for in the world. Loved rooting for that Celtics team, but you knew it was going to come crashing down soon. And him playing after his sister died, that whole thing was
50.
unfucking believable. Really an unbelievable thing to watch, but everybody knew it was not going to be something that could be repeated. And then when he got the bad hip, a guy like that, it's the same as the Kemba Walker in his knee. You're not going to be the same. It's taken him 2 years to get back in the league. He's still not even on a team. Yeah, no shit trading that guy if you could get him for Kyrie Irving. Yeah, no problem. So AD's dad, piss the fuck off, dude. Like, read a book, idiot. But that being said, Ray, I think that sentiment does travel. I think
it definitely does. It definitely
with the
does.
players, because players and their moms and dads and everybody else, they're just human. So they kind of feel that on a human level. And I mean, I guess I can get that. We've been saying that if you lose Gordon Hayward and try to trade Kemba, you're looking at players are going to already look at Boston as not a destination. And if you start treating their max all-star players like that on a regular, it's trouble. But I was thinking about this all day today. And I know that we've been on Danny Ainge for this, and you lost Kyrie, you lost Horford, and you lost Gordon Hayward. Can we go look at those situations? Everybody in the NBA is saying Gordon Hayward now has the worst contract in the NBA.
And last year they said Al Horford,
yet.
and Al Horford had one of the worst last year.
Right. So the only thing you could say is, is Boston not a destination where you would take a hometown discount to stay? And by hometown discount, reportedly, it was $108 million for Gordon Hayward, which is not that big of a discount. That's $24 million a year or something. And I don't know. I don't think we got a report on what Al Horford was offered, but it was pretty close. It was in like 22 or 23.
I think it was like, it was 94.
It was just under the max so they can get Kemba in. It was just under the max so they could get Kemba in. So, like, when you're talking about losing these players, you're talking about a situation where will they stay for a few $1 million less a year, or will they go for the bigger contract in situations that don't necessarily make sense and inevitably are going to go bad? That's what you're talking about with Horford and Hayward.
But
Kyrie's a different story. He's the biggest cunt in the world.
Yeah, fuck him. I kind of made this argument before too. We're talking about
fuck
guys.
Your flat Earth, you bitch.
Yeah. Fuck you and your science, motherfucker. What's government? Suck my dick.
Did he say fuck Thanksgiving as well?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Go to hell. Burn in hell.
Enjoy
Kyrie.
those New York taxes, you piece of shit.
But no, real quick, I did make this argument before. You're also talking about guys that got blown away on the market. Yeah, they didn't take hometown discounts, but they got blown away on the market. And you're talking about aging veterans. We're not talking about losing Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown not taking a hometown discount and chasing the biggest offer on the open market because the Celtics can offer them the most money on the open market. We're seeing aging veterans that Al Horford, when he left, was clearly on the decline, and Gordon Hayward's been on the decline since he snapped his ankle.
He's in the prime of his career right now.
Yeah, but you know what? I know
reportedly by
him. So, but you're seeing that. I put a lot more stock into the aging guys leaving than I put into Kyrie Irving just being the death. Dude,
like you just
everything.
Like you just look at Al Horford and his kind of underachieving career. First max deal was with the Celtics, and then one of their arch rivals in their division goes to pouch one of their, the Sixers made a heady move, I guess, to pouch one of their rivals' best players, and one of their, was the Embiid stopper, and they overpaid to get him. I guess you can say that's a strategic move by the 76ers, and Al Horford's sitting there going, all right, yeah, I've made money, but I haven't made this money. Holy shit.
Well, especially
100
at
plus guaranteed at 31 years old to go sit there.
You got to take that.
Shit, man, that's hard to say no.
I don't blame either of these guys for leaving.
And the other thing is, like, losing Horford that was more of a, oh shit, that sucks. I can't believe that happened. And then a couple days later, you get Kemba, and you go, okay,
Oh,
well,
this is better.
it's better.
Yeah.
No, but you don't hear anybody talking about losing Hayward as a, oh shit,
No,
can't
you
believe
only
he
heard
left.
it is Danny fucked up the deal. That's
Right.
the only thing you hear. It's like, oh shit, we didn't lose. Like I wanted him Gordon Hayward back. I'm fine paying him $24 million a year as being
All
the
right.
fourth option. I'm perfectly fine doing that.
So let's get into that next question, Raymond. What is your general feel for the team now as it stands, and their roster? So let me just throw it at you. What are their biggest strengths? Is it their young core? What are their biggest? What's the biggest hole? I still think it's the bench scoring. Can they? How will they improve it? What is your general consensus on all of that?
Biggest strengths, budding superstars. You got two of them, the two J's, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I mean, building off them.
Superstar.
What's that?
Budding.
Budding.
One superstar.
You have one budding superstar.
You have two
and
budding
a
superstars.
potential
One
all-star.
Yeah.
budding.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, but yeah, you
We're
got
not
a
in
young.
the playoffs. I don't have to shit on Tatum, so I'm not going to shit on Tatum. I agree with you. Those are our strengths. Go ahead, Raymond.
Yeah, but going forward, I mean, building around those two guys, see what happens this season. Maybe they take the next step. Biggest weakness, obviously, bench scoring. We don't have any. There's a couple names out there still. Kyle Korver. You guys want shooting, you want scoring, and you need bench help. There you go. Why don't you go sign him? Small forward. Also, power forward is going to be a little weird this year. Grant Williams is probably going to get the start. That's what they're reporting right now. Is Grant Williams will be your power forward starting. Backing him up, who you got? I mean, I think you got to go out in free agency and get another
Grant
power
Williams, Tristan Thompson. Robert
Grant Williams. I just
The low post positions are interesting to me because Tice and Tristan Thompson
Wait,
obviously.
how is Grant Williams going to start? Can I ask?
Well,
I understand
So
what he
the
might.
whistle blows and he stands on the
where
court.
is he going to start? Because Tatum
Either
starts.
Teague's on the bench.
Tatum
Teague's on,
starts at year 4.
Bill, I'm going to answer your question.
All right, I get it. You're going to put
Teague's on the bench or Smart's on the bench, and Jalen's at your 2. I don't mind that. I don't like. Well, it's not that I don't like, and Jason Tatum, like I've been saying for a long time, can and I think will take a lot of steps to become that superstar, and if part of that is being a modern day power forward, which is what people think. This what he basically is. Then fine. But I would love a lineup where Jason Tatum is your 3. Think about the mismatch that you could have there. And if you
4 a lot.
If you look at your guys that can play down low, can a guy like Daniel Tice learn the 4 position? Can a guy like Daniel Tice play power forward and Tristan Thompson play 5?
No.
Can you do that?
Not with this team, I don't think. I think Tristan
Why?
Thompson. Tristan Thompson can play your 4 no problem, but I don't think Daniel Tice is your 4.
Why? Tell me what the difference is, basketball guy.
I have no idea. You tell me, but I just see more of Thompson as a 4 than a Tice.
Love that answer. I don't know, but you tell me.
I don't think that there's a problem. I think that you now have a potential to play big and play small. I think that Daniel Tice can. I mean, naturally he's smaller. He's the same size as fucking Grant Williams, basically. He just plays bigger because of his length.
He peaked last year too, I think.
Yeah, he peaked, sure, but he's not going to be he's not going to rely on that starting center position. You also have Robert Williams behind there that can still develop and still become something. Your man, Bill. So if you take those 5 guys, Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Tristan Thompson, Daniel Tice, who am I forgetting? It might just be the 4 of them.
Only 4.
That's it. They got rid of the French tickler.
You're right.
Got rid of Cantor, and
you take those 4 guys and you throw in Jason Tatum in that power forward spot. Those 5 guys rotating in that 4 to 5. You can play big and you can play small.
Yeah,
and as much as shit as we give Brad Stevens, the way that he can switch up his lineups and move his offense and his defenses. I would not be surprised if you saw them go big like that and saw Daniel Tice next to Tristan Thompson and or Robert Williams. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been thinking about today. Sorry for that tangent. Bill, give me your general consensus on the roster, strengths, weaknesses, and what they might or could or won't do about it.
I mean, you're young. I think your young core is definitely your strength. I think obviously Tatum is your superstar on the team, all-star this year. Jason,
Budding.
Jason, shut up. Jaylen Brown should have been an all-star this year. So I mean, that's your core. They're gonna hopefully pick up a lot of the slack when Kemba's out. Your biggest weakness right now is your bench scoring still. I'd like to see him add another big if they can, just to kind of end of the bench guy, especially if they get in some foul trouble early. And a guy that we were talking about a little earlier is saying he's fully healthy since his Celtics days, and I think you can get a guy like him on the cheap with bring back that little midget Isaiah Thomas. I'm perfectly fine. I'm sorry, the M word. I'm perfectly fine bringing him back to play some bench minutes. You've seen him thrive in this offense, and I just think he could be a spark off the bench, especially in the 12 to 15-minute range right now. And especially if Jeff Teague struggles in this offense, I think Isaiah, if he's fully healthy, you can slide him into the starting lineup if you needed to and play meaningful minutes, and you can get him on the fucking cheap right now. And I think they should explore options to bring him back because he's still beloved in this locker room, including by the coach.
I'd love to see it too, Bill, because I think the offense is there. Danny Ainge today on Toucher and Rich pretty much shut that down. He said
I didn't hear the article, but I just
he said the position is pretty much stockpiled at this point. But that's not taking into consideration how much time Kemba Walker is going to miss. Because if Kemba Walker is going to miss real time, you're talking about Jeff Teague, Marcus Smart, and the white boy, the 6-year senior white boy from Oregon,
Ray's cousin.
Penny Pritchard or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, no, he's still over there. Never mind. Sorry.
So your point guard depth, your guard depth is still pretty weak. And your wing depth, you're relying on a bunch of young players and rookies, and Romeo Langford is not going to be back till January either. So
Ojale Semi is back.
Here's a question for you, and I'll give you my immediate answer. If there's one guy on this roster that you could move immediately, who would it be? Semi Ojale.
Yeah. Oh, we said it together.
Are you fucking kidding me? With
Why would you bring him back? Why would you bring him back?
Oh my! The defense,
plays good defense. That's about it. I mean,
he doesn't. He actually does not play that good at defense.
You can't talk to Bill about defense because he thinks Robert Williams plays great defense as well.
I never said Robert Williams played good defense.
He was the
block shots. That's it.
He was the Giannis stopper that 1 year before Giannis learned how to play basketball, and then he fucking smoked him. He stinks.
Well, Smart was one
Shemi Ojale sucks. Get that guy the fuck off my team. Second to Jay Crowder, that's the guy I've hated most, that has been the most overrated on any Celtics team I've watched since they've been good, since the Garnett years.
One. Evan Turner.
That's assistant coach.
Back with the Celtics as an assistant
coach at 32
Golf
years
clap
old.
for him. Golf clap. He was infuriating to watch, but he was actually good with the Celtics and Brad Stevens.
$74 million Portland paid him for nothing.
Unbelievable. That was a crazy year in the NBA, though. People got paid.
That was the first money year, like they had locked.
Yeah, it was nuts.
NBA TV deal. Oh yeah, that was a salary cap.
Who was that fucking white guy on Dallas? No. West. Who was the the 3-point shooter that got like so much?
Wesley Matthews.
Yeah, who's a free agent now that
he's on
people
the Lakers now. I think.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
remember
so
Timothy Mozgov got $60 million.
Yeah.
Same GM that just gave Gordon Hayward $120 million, and he signed Luol Deng, who hasn't played in like 5 years, and they're still paying him. So that just tells you how good Charlotte is.
I don't have any ill will towards Gordon Hayward. I'm with you, Bill. I thought that they were a better team when he was on the court. I think that he's a good basketball player. For him to come out with the comments that he came out with, I mean, whatever. Good for you if that's your confidence, or if you're just trying to spin it because you're about to get $31 million and you better be the man, but you're not.
How does it feel though? Like I get it, but like if he comes out and averages like 25 points a game for like a fucking 10th place team, where he could have averaged 18 points a game for the Celtics and been a top 3 team, maybe a top 2 team.
No, it's a fucking terrible look for him.
I get it. You're just chasing money. What's an extra? You got $12 million. You left the Celtics to be the number 1 guy for an extra $12 million.
He's not going to be the number 1 guy. You know why? LaMelo Ball is going to be the guy. They're going to build that
boiler off. Your takes. I can't hear you.
Story for another day, boys.
Going to be the franchise.
I want to get to the Patriots, so we'll lament on this on another day. I just have one more question on the Celtics, and it is involving the next great white whale, greatest trade chip Danny Ainge. The next greatest trade chip Danny Ainge has to offer. Obviously, the trade exception for Gordon Hayward now at $28.9 million. A lot of permutations around this fucking thing. The NBA cap is ridiculous. Gives me a headache thinking about it. However, taking into consideration that we understand most of the rules revolving around it, do you think they use it at the trade deadline or next season? Do you want them to use it at the trade deadline or next season? Just give me your overall general premise and idea on the trade exception that they have in the bank for the next calendar year, Bill.
I don't think they can use the whole $28 million because they're pushing the hard cap after they sign.
Yeah, they got to move some salaries if they want to pull in that kind of salary.
Yeah, so obviously you have to give something up, but I would love to see it at the trade deadline.
Sorry to interrupt you. You just got to basically dump Tristan Thompson's second year.
Yeah, which could be easy.
They can do it.
If you want to use it, get there. Yeah. If you want to use it at trade deadline, I look at a team like San Diego. DeMar DeRozan's on an expiring
San
deal.
Diego.
I mean, San Antonio. Sorry. DeMar DeRozan's on an expiring deal. You have draft picks. San Antonio is looking to rebuild. They want to get younger. LaMarcus Aldridge, those guys right there, those are guys that you can get back this year, probably at the trade deadline, who might – I don't think San Antonio is going to be there this year, and they get a lot of guards and they get a lot of forwards that could help this team right away, especially on the bench. So, I mean, if you could add DeMar DeRozan at the trade deadline for your fucking trade exemption, that's a win in my book.
Right?
Yeah, you're 2, 3, 4 at the trade deadline. In the East, you go out and you use it this year at the trade deadline. Like Bill said, you get assets, teams that are fizzling out, go after their –
use them. This is the year to do it.
You got trade capital with draft picks as well, and teams that want to rebuild, use it. Use it now. Get that next player so you go over the hump. So you go to the Eastern Conference Finals and you take that next step by going to the finals. So use it and use it wisely, Danny.
And like R.C. Buford there in San Antonio loves those draft and stash guys. So Ray's cousin over there in Israel, he could be perfect trade chip for a guy like that. I mean, you've seen it with all his guys.
Not me, boys. Giannis or bust. Giannis or bust. Giannis is going into his free agency next year. It's going to be a trade it's going to be a sign and trade no matter where he goes next year. He's not going to sign outright. There's too many teams with not enough cap room. Miami might be able to figure it out. Other than that, he's going to want too much money to be outright signed, so he's going to be a sign and trade. You wait for Giannis. If he doesn't work, you got enough free agents in next year's to go pick up the same type of guy that you guys are talking about that is not in that trade exception. We've just talked about you've made a different step as a Celtics team. I don't think you're championship ready right now unless Jason Tatum makes 2 or 3 steps into that real top 10, top 5 superstardom, and he can carry a team at 35 points a night.
If you had a guy on an expiring deal making $28 million and DeRozan, Bradley Beal, you can't get because he's making more money. You'd have to dump more salary. But I mean,
I've heard conflicting on that, but yep.
The report I heard is Beal makes like 29.5.
Yeah, you can skirt like $100,000 here and there. So, yeah. but either way, Bradley Beal's another guy that I think fits. DeMar DeRozan is not.
I'm just
Celtics.
Saying,
I get it, Bill. But like, I don't want to keep doing this with fucking Celtics fans. Jason Tatum's your guy. Jaylen Brown is your guy. Stop bringing in wing players.
I don't know.
Bring in players that fit around this guy. The very few top 5 players that fit with Jason Tatum is Giannis. And if you got that amount of money, I wait. I know we've been shitting on Danny for waiting for 6 years now, but if that type of talent is available and you think you have any type of chance of getting him, and if you go look at next year's free agency list, there's enough good players on there where you won't use that whole 28.5, but you'll use enough of it to make it work to go sign somebody else to fill the talent gap that you're looking at. But unless that player becomes available at the trade deadline, I'm waiting until next year. And there's no way the Bucks are are trading Giannis at the trade deadline.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, Rich. I mean, you heard it when we had talked over the weekend. We said the same thing. It's probably not going to be used till next year anyways. But yeah, you could see it used lined up for Giannis too, because especially if you can make a trade, you can use that trade exemption to kind of lure Giannis over here, and you still have Jaylen Brown, you still have Marcus Smart. You could dangle and get a fucking another superstar that would fit better with Giannis and Jason Tatum, and there's your big 3 moving forward.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to match money with the trade exemption, so you're in a good negotiating position. You have to convince Giannis to take less than max, You have to convince him to take 28, whatever, and then figure out the contract after. But you're in a good position. I think that he's in a really good position for that
still
player.
get max too, and I think the way I know it's going to average out. But if you line up that contract, I think you can kind of like spread it out so you get.
You might be right.
You get a cheaper first year.
That's some crazy Rain Man math that I can't get into, but that's my thought.
Well, that's why you see these guys make like 30 or like $43 million is what Chris Paul made at the end of his deal, because I think he got shorter term deals and they fit like the Harden deal and all that other shit early in the salary cap.
Yeah. Either way, the player, the player has to want to come to that team for the sign and trade to work. So, we'll see. We'll see. Training camp started yesterday as the show is released. We'll see how the Celtics shake out. It's kind of fucking crazy. NBA starting up again, and soon we'll be talking about NHL starting up again. But before we get to that, final thoughts. Let's reverse in time. Final thoughts on the New England Patriots and Cardinals. I said they were dead to us, and you guys gave me some nasty little looks. So you guys snapping on them getting to the playoffs this year?
We said it on Monday's show. The path is still alive.
You fucking idiots. Because my first question that I sent to you guys is how bad is Cam Newton?
He threw for 350 yards last week, Richard.
Thanks, Bill
2 weeks
Belichick.
ago.
Yeah, thanks, Bill Belichick.
2 weeks ago, Bill.
350 yards in a
Double
loss.
Bill.
350 yards.
He's 23 out of 32 for passing yards. He's 35th ranked in TD throw passes.
Yep.
Yeah, and 55th in QBR. So, yeah, you do the math. He sucks.
He had the lowest quarterback rating this weekend, like in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think it was like 13.7.
It was 23.6, Bill.
I was close.
It was 23.6, and it was, I don't know if it was just Felger Maz, but a lot of people have been talking about the last quarterback to win with that low of a quarterback rating was Mark Sanchez in 2012, who looked better than Cam Newton did.
Damn, I just thought
Sunday.
he looked even shittier, so I went real low.
Don't say that to Greg Bedard, please.
He fucking sucks.
Sucks.
He sucks. He can't throw. So after going back at it again and watching some of the experts kind of explain what was happening, the Arizona Cardinals played 7 or 8 guys in the box, 96% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm. Well, every time Harris was in the backfield, they had 8 or 9 guys in there, and they fucking every time. Yeah,
every time the Patriots snapped the ball, 96% of the time they had 7 or 8 guys in the box, and the Patriots offense, aka Cam Newton, could not take advantage of that. Which brings me to my next question. Running out of time, so I want to get to it. How fucking bad is N'Keal Harry, and is he the worst draft pick in Bill Belichick's career?
Go ahead, Ray.
Dominic easily could be tied with him, but yeah, he's in the top 2 of the worst draft picks.
Easley's on my list. Chad Jackson. Razai Dowling, I think, played one
second
game.
Round pick.
He was the first pick taken in the second round. He came over that Matt Castle deal. Right around where near N'Keal Harry, but Dominic Easley's right up there. He blew both ACLs out in college,
and they still picked him.
Here's the reason why. Okay, so yeah, bad decision, sure.
Antonio Garcia, who's a third-round pick, never played a single down.
Third-round pick.
Hard condition.
Third-round pick.
Talking about first-round picks. That's why Dominic Easley's the only one.
Harry is a first-round pick. Dominic Easley was injured and, didn't play that well. But I can remember some games where he was in there and made some tackles. N'Keal Harry is a negative on the field every time he fucking walks out there. Every single time as a wide receiver.
Did you see...
and not only this, sorry, Bill, not only this, in a team that has no wide receivers. None.
Yeah. Well, that was a bad draft class for wide receivers. I mean, DK Metcalf, what's he doing right now in Seattle?
AJ Brown.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Debo Samuel.
Bad draft.
Calvin Ridley.
Wide receiver, yeah. Bad rep, yeah.
He's the worst draft pick Belichick's ever made.
Yeah, he's right up there. Listen, so since he came back,
because it's his second year, we've already decided that he sucks. That's why I know that that's true.
Since he came back from injury, he's had 35 yards, and then he's had 34 yards of penalties since he's came back.
Plus one.
He's plus 1 yard in 3 fucking games since he's been back. Plus 1 fucking yard.
He's very fucking bad.
Can't make that shit up.
Oh,
I I had a couple more things on the Patriots, and then I had a joke on the Red Sox free agency, which actually ends up being there's actually some things to talk about. So I'll tell you what, we're going to extend headlines a little bit, and we'll answer those questions on the other side here, and then we'll do early lines. Does that work for you guys?
Perfect. It's super long in the Celtics, huh?
We're animated. Do you think that that's because they have become the team in Boston that has the best potential to win a championship?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're at the top of the list, right?
Them and the Bruins.
I think that their upside potential is probably higher than the Bruins.
I would the potential, yes, but I think right now I put the Bruins higher to win the title. I think they would win the title before the Celtics would.
Do you?
Yep.
That's a
Wanna
good
bet on
question.
that?
That's a
You
good
wanna bet on
question
that?
for another day. It's a good question for another day. I don't want to get into it now. Right now,
No, we can think about it because we'd have to do like a span because we can't go like 10 years. Oh, hey, look the fucking.
no, this year.
You know what I mean? No, this year the Bruins are closer than the Celtics for sure.
But who
I
goes
think
further?
on a base roster, I think you're right. But I think, look, I'm tooting this horn, and it's the only take that I have is if Jason Tatum takes the step, then the Celtics have as good a chance as anybody to win the NBA
Bruins are
championship.
definitely taking a step back
Because I don't think who sorry to interrupt you, but who on the Bruins can make that leap to get you past Tampa?
Jake DeBrusk, you got to hope. Charlie McAvoy, you got to hope.
The biggest DeBruscator in the fucking world is relying on that 3.6
Charlie
AAV,
Coyle,
baby.
Charlie Coyle.
It's McAvoy is the answer, but I don't know if he has
All those guys, and who's that? Mike Smith is the guy they picked up. I mean, you get consistency out of the second and third lines, man. I think that was what you lacked mostly in the playoffs, outside of Tuukka Rask bailing on you. You couldn't score goals. You know, if Mike Smith could come in and start scoring 25, 30 goals.
It's not Mike Smith. It's
Craig Smith. Sorry.
Craig Smith.
Craig Smith. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mike Smith was the goalie. But, yeah, if you can get 25, 30 goals out of him and can get consistency with him and Coyle on that second, third line there with Krejci, and DeBrusk, this team could go far, especially if you get an engaged Rask. I think, he probably took a lot of that criticism, him bowing out. I'm hoping he comes back engaged and ready to fucking win.
That's a lot of hope knowing that
they're in a
guy.
division to win, though.
Can I say you're both wrong real quick?
Yeah.
The New England
It's going to be the
Revolution.
ref. Fuck you, Ray. All right, look,
Ray.
we have to get back. We interrupted our Patriots talk because we ran out of time. So let me get to the last thing. N'Keal Harry sucks. A worst draft pick in Belichick's era. He should just be flat out cut. He won't because he's first round pick. Speaking of wide receivers, Julian Edelman hit the COVID IR list because reportedly he was in close contact, which means he has to get 2 negative tests and he can play on Sunday. My question to you guys is, does he help and does it matter? Raymond?
Yes, it helps because the only 2 targets that Cam has right now is Bird and Myers. So throw Edelman in there. That will obviously help.
Does it matter?
Yes, because we're still got a path to the fucking playoffs.
Okay. Bill?
I don't think it helps. Didn't help before. Edelman's done. He had knee surgery. Coming off knee surgery. He's 33 now. He's done. I think he's checked out. His body's not there. Now he's got COVID or close contact. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to help much. Yeah, it puts another body on there. It probably helps more for Jacoby Myers because it probably opens the field more up for him and Bird because now you have to pay attention to Julian Edelman. You have to shift that second guy over there, especially if he shows out and he's a little quick. So I guess it's going to help the team, but I don't think it's Julian. He's toast.
Doesn't
he was
help.
Toast before.
Doesn't help because Cam sucks.
Yep.
Cam
I didn't
Newton
even get there, but yeah,
sucks.
he sucks.
He can't identify where the matchup and mismatch are to make it work with Julian Edelman, which is Julian Edelman's biggest strength, which is why he was so successful
And
with
that's
Tom
why
Brady.
Sanu was Knut too. Sanu was
What
cut
the fuck?
too.
I don't know what he said
Sanu is
there.
Knut.
No,
Sanu is Knut.
Sanu got cut, and they told him. Bill told him is because he is a too precision route runner, and Cam can't make those throws. Is basically he told Breer that on some podcast. That was basically why Sanu got cut. Was he's like you're too, and that's exactly what Julian Edelman is. Stop on a dime wide receiver. Read which way the cornerback and safety are going. Stop on a dime and get the open field. Cam can't see that. So that's why you see guys with Bird and Jacoby Myers, who are way less wide receivers, get open because they don't have to really read the defense. They just have to beat their guy.
It's also a mismatch, Bill. The reason why Julian Edelman, he's a 7th-round quarterback. He's not the lights-out wide receiver. He got catches because he got
open.
They schemed him against linebackers, and when he was against cornerback, he's not creating a bunch of space. Brady just pinned it on his fucking elbow.
It's the same thing as
and
Wes
he caught
Welker.
it. It's not going to happen with Cam Newton. It's so frustrating because Julian Edelman probably is at the top of my list as a favorite Patriot, and I don't want to see him go out
My list is overrated.
in a shitty way. My list is overrated?
No, he's on my list as overrated.
Oh. Well, he might be overrated, but he's still my favorite.
I don't mean that, baby.
That's a different concept. All right, look, I don't want to go too far over. Last thing on the Patriots, this got rattling around in my head today, watching that game, and you guys telling me that Gilmore had a good game against Nuke Hopkins, which he didn't. Gilmore is leaving next year. Devin McCourty, who has been the anchor of your defense for a decade, is old, slow. He's lost a step. We've seen that this year. His brother, Jason McCourty, who they rely on for right or wrong, is worse as a cornerback. You have young guys there, and I know, Bill, you're high on J.C. Jackson, but let's be honest, he's been up and down. Is J.C. Jackson
He only had one real bad game. I think J.C. Jackson's your number one cornerback.
He's not your number one.
Look, let me ask the fucking question. Is J.C. Jackson a good enough number one where Jonathan Jones, Juwan Bentley, Kyle Duggar, and
Juwan Williams, Bentley's the linebacker.
Sorry, Juwan Williams. Are those guys in that secondary good enough moving into next year? Because he's a fucking idiot, and he thinks that getting a name wrong is funny. He's a bottom of the totem pole of dumb for a fucking reason.
Oh, God.
I wanted to correct him because he's talking about a fucking linebacker on the Patriots when we're talking about a secondary.
Be professional for me one time. Is that secondary good enough, or are they got to go do something next year in addition to everything else they have to do next year?
You could probably definitely add a veteran, especially if you're going to lose Gilmore, but I think J.C. Jackson's going to be your number one. I think he can be a number one. I think he's shown it. I mean, he had that one bad game against the Jets, but he came back and posted, one catch for 4 yards the next week. Last week against Christian Kirk, he had 0 catches on 3 targets. So, I mean, I think he's the number one. And, again, Juwan Williams, you haven't seen much of him. They kind of brought him in as the tight end guy. You're seeing Kyle Duggar do that now. But if you're losing both McCourties, you're going to expect him to step up in his 3rd year, which he should make that 3rd year jump. Hopefully, he's a big 6'4" cornerback that can play safety now. And I like Jonathan Jones. I think he's your good slot corner. So you can bring in an outside guy. You're going to definitely need to bring an outside guy. I'd prefer if they kept Gilmore. If you could re-sign Gilmore, I'm all for it.
They're not signing Gilmore. Right.
I don't think so either.
My bigger question is Devin McCourty's position, because that has been a strength and the key to Belichick's offense since he got here. Lawyer Malloy, Rodney Harrison, Devin McCourty, those have been the guys. They don't have anybody in the pipeline seemingly to do that job right now. Obviously,
don't sleep on Eugene Wilson.
Shut the fuck up, Bill. Fucking Billy Rambles. Yeah, sure. Yeah, a lot of those guys have switched those positions, Bill. But there has been a safety that has been the leader of your defense for 20 years, whether it be Rodney Harrison or Devin McCourty. You don't have that guy behind Devin McCourty as far as I can see right now. Maybe they think they do. That's a problem for me. I mean, maybe Devin plays another year and you can get another year out of him, but they need to start thinking of a plan there. No, Ray?
Yeah, you got to. Free agency, though, just like you got Rodney Harrison over here. Trade free agency, get another veteran guy, not on the end of his career. Bring him over here, be that leader, take McCourty's spot because he's done.
Don't sleep on Duggar being that leader on that secondary.
Does he play that position? Is that position as important as it once was?
Yeah, but Rodney Harrison didn't play that position either. He was still the on the ball line, he played that linebacker position, and that's what they're kind of grooming Duggar to play.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
no, Bill. Think about Rodney Harrison's.
Yeah, but Eugene Wilson was the back safety in those
Billy
safeties.
Fucking Rambles
I swear
tonight,
to God,
right? Billy fucking Rambles tonight, right? But Bill, I'm not talking about center field. I'm talking about the. This is why Devin McCourty has not lived up to his contract because he was not Rodney Harrison, but Rodney Harrison played that position. Think about the plays Rodney Harrison made. He didn't make Patrick Chung tackles. He made big-time hits in the secondary or interceptions. That was Devin McCourty's position. They changed it for Devin McCourty because he didn't have the skills as Rodney Harrison. I will go to my deathbed thinking that. And look, Devin McCourty, one of the best Patriots we've seen all time, he's no fucking Rodney Harrison. He doesn't have those
Rodney Harrison's a
playmaking
Hall of
skills.
Famer. Rodney
I get it.
Harrison.
So my
had
point
35 career
is
sacks,
that
too. Don't sleep
position
on that.
as important as we think it is for the Patriots, and do they have someone there? My answer is I don't see it yet. Of course, we can be surprised, and Belichick is usually several steps ahead of that. It could be Duggar. Maybe they look at Adrian Phillips as an older guy that can fill the role for a couple years. Maybe they look at
Brooks.
JoJuan Bentley/Williams as a guy that can step back there and play center field. I don't know. I'm just looking at this secondary going, you're going to lose some of these pieces as your strength of your team, and you've got a ton of other holes to fill, and next year that might be another hole to fill. We're running late. Let me get to the Red Sox. Bill, you're our big baseball hot stove correspondent. I put the joke in this email, give us a quick bit on the Red Sox, think that you would have nothing to say. However, we got a couple bits of news from the Red Sox. So one was Erod, and they have a pitcher on the horizon. I don't know if you saw it. If you do, give us your thoughts on those two pieces of news.
Yeah,
for the Red
so
Sox.
Erod signed his 1 year deal. I wish it was kind of longer, but it just avoided arbitration. $8.3 million, 1 year's good deal coming back off kind of 1 year prove it deal coming back off the COVID stuff. He's supposed to be healthy. He's already pretty much completed his offseason program right now, so he's getting back healthy. Corey fucking Kluber, rumors coming out there. I want, and let me repeat this, 0.0 part of Corey Kluber on the Red Sox, unless it's like a 1 year, 9 to 10 with incentives, because the last 2 years, Cleveland dumped him last year for basically nothing to Texas, got hurt, basically sucked dick there, got hurt in Cleveland the year before that. So, I mean, he's coming off back-to-back injury-plagued years, and he's on the downward spot of his career. If they pay him any more than $10 million guaranteed, it's a fucking joke, and I want zero part of that.
They won't, right? They won't pay any. This is what I've come to the conclusion on the Red Sox. They won't pay any Red Sox pitcher. They won't pay any free agent pitcher anything more than what Bill's talking about. They're going to take flyers on everybody.
I'm fine taking a flyer on him, Rich.
And they're going to take flyers on a bunch of fucking people that either you have that response that you have, Bill, or you've never heard of them before. This is the Tampa Bay Rays method. Yep. Just go look at the past 5 years of the Tampa Bay Rays. Look at what they did. This is what the Red Sox are going to do in their pitching department. On the field, I think they might have a different approach because they got money and they got players, and finding a positional player, there's a lot more certainty in that than in a pitcher. And to be honest with you, I'm fine with it. I'd rather go after young kids with big arms that are unproven than, and this was the John Henry motto when they let Lester go. It just fucking backfired on them because they're stupid about it. Don't sign pitchers over 30. Well, sure, I guess, but anyway, not.
I would take him on a prove it deal if you can get him on a nice one, because he's going to bring that veteran piece to the team. The team's fairly young. You're going to get even younger if you're going to start Dahlbach full time, and even Durant maybe in center field, depending on where you're going to add there. So adding that next extra veteran piece in the clubhouse is great, but don't fucking overspend to get it. But these are what you're going to see. You might even see fucking John Lesser's name start getting thrown around. Tonight's the night, as we record this Tuesday, is the non-tender night for players. So this is when free agency is going to start building up, and you're going to start seeing more rumors, because now you're going to see a lot of guys. Chris Bryant's rumored to not be non-tendered. You're going to see a lot of these guys that teams don't want to pay arbitration. So that's why you're going to see them just lose for nothing.
Yeah, reports are Cubs are going to strike a deal with Bryant. The last I heard, they're going to strike a deal with him. They're not going to tenure him. They're going to strike a deal with him. But either way, yeah, your point. The point is the MLB offseason is a trickle and a slog, and this is one of the bigger nights as we record this. So you should see a couple things shake out over the next few days, and we'll just see what the Red Sox do. I'd be surprised if Lester decided to come back after what they fucking did to him. It's the same ownership, unless Cora's got a relationship with them. Was Lester there? Was Lester there with Cora on those World Series teams? That was the same roster, right?
Team.
So maybe he has a little in there. Maybe he sees some value there. But yeah, you're just gonna see that type of thing. All right, we got to end this. Ray, any thoughts on our Boston Red Sox before we close up here, or would you like to get a quick minute on your Revs?
Semifinals, Revs. Oh, you didn't cut me off. Wow, thank you.
Anything else?
They're going to the semifinals.
All right, that's enough. This has been a Simple Mind Sports Show. Wednesday edition, November 2nd. We'll see you for early lines on
It's
Thursday.
December 2nd. It's December 2nd.
What did I say?
November.
All right. Fuck yourself. Bye.
Bye.
Semifinals, huh?
Semifinals.
Who are they playing?
Yep.
You don't know. You don't know?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Do you know?
You're our fucking soccer
No,
guy.
I don't know.
You're our soccer
Whoa,
guy. Bill.
Billy on the pitch. Last show, you were very heavy on some fucking.
You know, the only
That's
reason
it.
is because I literally just read it on Twitter. I was like, hey, I know this guy. I gotta, hey, we're talking soccer today.